Well, good morning, everybody. It's, I must say, a wet one across the board here at Spa-Francorchamps, but we welcome you anyway to the hills here in the Ardennes Forest. A very picturesque outlook as we finally get underway through the course of the weekend after a very, very busy practice period, given the fact that we've had torrential weather across the course of the week so far, coming in towards the weekend itself. We did, though, witness Brad Benavides going fastest on a very wet track in free practice one, a 2:35.837, faster than Levente Ravesh, who finished in second place, and then Gerard Z marking his return to the championship after debuting last season, finishing in P3. The session was later red flagged, though, after Fernando Barrichello spun coming through Radion. No major damage to the car, however, and will be partaking in this qualifying session. Free practice 2 would see Gerard Z, as I said, on return, a 2:28.164, going faster than what we saw from Brad Benavides, again showing that the track has somewhat changed, evolved, of course, and devolved through the course of the weekend as well. It's been very turbulent, the weather that we have witnessed across the course of action here at Spa, as you would expect, given the fact that there is a microclimate at this very circuit. But here now, as we watch the cars make their way around, ready to begin qualifying, we're looking forward to seeing who is going to be fastest. But my name is, of course, George Morgan. Joining me this weekend, he was at Hockenheim, he's now ventured across to Belgium. It is the one, the only, Ewan Dunlop.
I get all the best jobs, don't I? First time here ever at Spa. It does not disappoint. We've been there about 24 hours, George. It's just a massive smile on your face the entire way walking around. Of course, La Source, Eau Rouge, to Kemmel Straight. It's a wonderful place to be. But getting to the serious stuff, the racing and some data and stats. We've been through the timings, of course, getting quicker and quicker. Now, we have had no rain here for at least 3 hours here at Spa-Francorchamps, but the track, as you can see, is still damp in places. As we go through qualifying, we will of course pick up a dry line there or thereabouts. But yeah, Brad Benavides running this championship right now. Up until round 3 at Hockenheim, where he had those mechanical issues, he was yet to be out of the top 2 spots. However, Michael Shin, round 3 at Hockenheim, what a performance. Led from the gun and never ever relented. But Brad Benavides, 124 points to lead the championship by 15 points over Franco Simonazzi. That could be the big head-to-head this weekend in terms of the championship. Great to have Z here, though. Again, that cracking 2:28 yesterday in free practice 2. Building up to a pretty fantastic entire weekend. 3 races, of course, as ever. Looking forward to every single one.
Yeah, it's going to be great, and it's great to be alongside you as well, Ewan, ready for this one. Obviously, we've got a fantastic weekend in prospect, given the fact that Spa is considered legendary, and rightfully so, in the world of motorsport. Michael Shin, as you so rightly say, getting off to the perfect start at Hockenheim Ring, showing what he is capable of, and once again, putting that on display. He's currently purple in the first sector with a 42.300. Still early days, though. Brad Benavides making his way through the middle sector, and he registers a 68.715 as he now heads down through towards bus stop. Brad Benavides taking his first single-seater victory back at Portimao, and this is a driver that's competed in FIA Formula 2, FIA Formula 3. He's done it all where it comes to single-seaters, bar Formula 1. Okay, throw in the likes of your Super Formulas and your Indy cars as well, but this man has done it, certainly through the feeder series, as you so rightly see throughout the course of motorsport and its calendar. Here comes Brad Benavides up towards the line, 2:30.127. That is the first registered fast lap recorded here in qualifying here at Spa-Francorchamps, being closely followed as well by Levente Ravesh, who posts a 2:31.835. Gerard Z, after going fastest in free practice 2, now goes second fastest with a 2:31.178. Still holds on to the purple third sector, hasn't had that ripped away from him just yet. Francesco Simonazzi, fourth fastest with a 2:31.948, 1.8 off the top time. Jakob Bergmeister in 5th. He was incidentally 3rd fastest in free practice 2, and someone who is ever improving. Remember, he is a German shifter kart champion.
This session is officially declared as well. You can see the spray coming up behind all of our cars. So what you'll tend to find is, as we had in free practice, the times will just keep getting quicker and quicker as they pick up that dry line. In free practice 1, everybody's fastest lap came on their last or penultimate to last lap, rather than in the dry conditions. Of course, the tyres sort of fall off a little bit and you set your fastest lap early on. So these should just get quicker and quicker and quicker. We know Z did a 2:28, so we should expect to see those drop below the 2:30s in the next sort of 2 or 3 laps or so.
Yeah, we should do. Track will, well, we'd hope, will improve as time goes on, and already we are seeing those improvements. Gerard Z going fastest again in the first sector with a purple of a 41.965. But it's when you come into that sector 2, Ewan, when we reach that technical sort of slice and dice coming through La Fanier, and then you've got the trip down towards Campus and Stavelot. Things get a little fraught. You get the nice straight line speeds coming down in towards turn 1, and also the Camel Straight coming out of Eau Rouge and Radion. Don't get me wrong, Eau Rouge and Radion's treacherous enough. We've been witnessing and watching it all weekend. But the middle sector is where you make your money. It
is an entire test of a driver's skill set. Yes, I'd like to think we can all stick our foot down and go through Eau Rouge and Camel Straight. And then, as you said, it gets very, very technical. In free practice 2 yesterday, there was 10 seconds between fastest and last on the times. That just goes to show the experience in these single-seaters, getting around a track, world famous, possibly, now I've been here, I can confirm it is the best circuit in the world. Yeah, tests every element.
Certainly does. Brad Benavides now coming up towards the line, and we'll look to post his next lap. Gerard Z also is going to be crossing the line very shortly. Benavides still on top with the 2:29 this time, 9:21, so we are dipping into the 20s. Levente Revesh improves and makes it a 2:30.56. Gerard Z now pips Brad Benavides to the top spot, 61 thousandths faster than the man from the United States. So it's Gerard Z with a 2:29.860 holding the purple first and third sectors.
Also worth pointing out, we can see it's damp, but it's pretty cool here too. Yesterday, I bought a pair of sunglasses yesterday here at track. It was that warm and bright. However, over the last few hours, we've not got above 12 degrees Celsius, and track-wise, 14 degrees. It's cold, it's damp, it's cool in the air. All these things that the mechanics and the teams have to think about when they're prepping these cars should, of course, I say should, get warmer later, other than in the next 2 hours, where we are anticipating potentially 40% chance of rain. From midday onwards, it's going to be a beautiful day. So says the Met Office.
Yeah, absolutely right. Well, Pirelli, of course, the tyres that are being brandished upon these Dallara 320 chassis, and they'll be looking to try and lay down some rubber indeed through the course of the session. We have, of course, had GT Open, International GT Open free practice first thing, so that would have laid down at least something for the drivers to work with, but trying to find that dry line can be so tricky, especially when Spa has many avenues for finding a fast racing line, but still very, very testing for these drivers, despite the amount of time they may have spent in single-seaters. We look at some of the experienced individuals. Levente Revesh, who has partaken in various single-seater championships, Italian F4, Formula Regional, as well as now the Euroformula Open Championship. You've got to factor in Michael Shin and his ventures in FIA Formula 3, as well as the Formula Regional Middle Eastern Championship, GB3. Again, someone who has been in many different levels of the single-seater category racing, as we now see them head through the final sector now very shortly. 10 minutes to go here in qualifying. The very first qualifying session we'll witness here at Spa-Francorchamps across this weekend. It is still Gerard Z who is fastest right now. Remember, that 2:29.860 is the one to beat. There have been personal improvements from a few drivers already. As we're now looking on our screens, is now the car emblazoned in number 23. Michael Shin heads through the bus stop chicane, looking to register an improved lap time to raise the stakes of what was his initial run at 2:32.618. There was a personal improvement in the middle sector. Let's see if he can harness a little bit more. He certainly can improve. Goes fourth fastest as into the pits comes Gerard Z, Brad Benavides and Levente Revesh.
Yeah, so our top four are going to be in the pits now as we reach the halfway stage of this 20-minute qualifying session. Now, we've spoken a lot about Benavides naturally leading the championship, 2 wins, 3 second places, and that one 4th mechanical issues. Simonazzi, 2 wins to his name. He's only, like Benavides, only been off the podium once so far this season. Does lead, though, 2 of the stats that we have for our driver championship. He has got the most pole positions with 2, and he's also led the most laps in first place with 36, which is double the amount of Brad Benavides. However, 15 points separating them as things stand right now.
Yeah, absolutely right. As Michael Shinn heads through the first sector, still lacking that little bit of time through the first, but might be in a case now where he is just looking to just cool down the car. This is Fernando Barrichello, just getting the car all twisted, heading through towards bus stop, and as you can see, locking up the front left as well as he makes his way through the next straight. Now, this is the battle that these drivers have, given the conditions. You can see they're utilising the wet groove tyres as well, but just goes to show how careful and how precise you have to be when it comes to brake application and also track positioning, because, like I say, any mistake will be punished around here.
This is a 7 kilometres and I think 5-metre track. You've got to be on it for 2.5 minutes with no mistakes at all. As we've already said, every single technical element you could possibly find in a racetrack, and you can't put a foot wrong if you currently want to beat the 229 of Gerard Z. 4 cars in the pits right now.
Francesco Simonazzi venturing through La Source, and currently sat 5th fastest. Someone who, remember, took a famous win back at Red Bull Ring. Of course, it was all done in Parc Ferme, but since then he has been pushing onwards as the Italian stallion, and already 3 times a race winner if you factor in the 2 he's managed to obtain as well through the course of this campaign. 9 podiums in his career here in this championship, and he'd love to make it 10. Also has a pole position under his name as well, and I'm sure Giuseppe Mazzotti is going to be hoping that BVM can raise the stakes here at Spa-Francorchamps against the Motor Park team, as well as Paolo Brajnik's NV Racing, as they now make their way through the middle sector. And it is a personal improvement from Francesco Simonazzi, managed to find green, and now heading in towards Rivage. You've got a very, very testing braking zone here. Of course, need to try. Some drivers like to keep it tight to the inside. Simonazzi adopting a slightly wider line as they head through the very fast left-hander at Jackie X-Ben. Very cautious of the gravel on the right-hand side. Dip your toes in there. It might be the last thing you do in the session as he now heads down in towards Pouhon. This little in-swinger where, again, you want to try and apply your throttle very carefully, feathering it slightly and then squeezing it straight back down before then heading in towards the La Fanier chicane. Now, be wary of the curbs here. Simonazzi not daring to touch them on entry, makes his way through, taking a nice steady line through the inside. Let's see what he can do in this middle sector. Let's see if he can raise once again, perhaps yet another green improvement, heading down in towards Campus and Stavolo. Just whipping that tail out. Not seeing that usual Simonazzi tail whip this time around, but no surprises as to why, given the fact that it is quite greasy out there. Has indeed improved in that second sector. Still not enough to display purple, but it's fairly consistent, and he has managed to reduce the gap now. So you never know. One gigantic run through the final sector could yet be in his favour. Of course, we've heard some of the drivers discussing setup, some adopting a high level of downforce, given the fact that we had the treacherous conditions over the course of yesterday. Simonazzi heading down in towards bus stop now. We'll head down to the final corner. Let's see what he can muster. A little untidy coming over the curbs there, which might upset the momentum. Heading up towards the line. Here he comes now. Simonazzi 3rd fastest and manages to get within 7/10 of a second, with Benavides still in 2nd. Gerard Z still fastest.
Yeah, Z and Benavides back out on track. So an 8 lap means they're probably going to get maybe 2 racing laps in potentially. We'll see what they can do. Again, the only 2 men to go sub 2:30 thus far by 2 1/100 of a second respectively. So Simonazzi goes round one more time.
Heading over the crest out of Eau Rouge and Radion and through towards Kemmel. And a very lonely BVM car right now as he drifts towards the inside, actually looking for the correct line. As you can see, they're trying absolutely everything out there. Simonazzi has yet improved again and got ever closer in his pursuit for P1. Is within that 1.5 tenths between he and Gerard Z in that first sector. Let's see what he can do, though. maybe the second sector can deliver him a little more. I can tell you that Jakob Bergmeister has gone purple in the first sector as well. So we've got Bergmeister improving. There are improvements across the field. Track is starting to generate some added traction, a little bit more momentum. And Bergmeister, rookie champion of last season, Simonazzi daring in his ventures, very nearly into the gravel, heading through the Jackie X corner, but heading down in towards Pouon. He's still going to look to try and increase, and maybe, well, could be increasing his possibilities for a fastest lap here.
Well, Jakob Bergmeister, not only does he go purple in Sector 1 on this lap, he went purple in Sector 3 on his previous lap as well. These cars are speeding up, the track is drying out. This could be a last lap shootout for every single place on the grid. Gerard C still at 2:29.86, that is going to fall, surely. Let's wait for the Sector 2 time of Jakob Bergmeister. Ah, there's a purple for Simonazzi. Almost a second in Sector 2, blimey.
Exactly where I said, that's where you make your money in Sector 2, and Francesco Simonazzi flexing that right now, 68.243 coming through the middle sector. And Jakob Bergmeister not far away either, also getting to within 1.5 tenths, very nearly, well in fact he is within 1.25 tenths at this point, so it's getting very close now. And of course, through the course of this weekend, we have seen, as I said before, track conditions changing all the time in this microclimate of Spa-Francorchamps. Now Simonazzi looks to post his next fast lap, goes fastest now, and has found an almighty second as well in the third sector.
Wow.
Incredible. Fantastic job from Francesco Simonazzi. We've also got Jakob Bergmeister. He goes second fastest, but still over 0.6 of a second in behind the Italian stallion. Simonazzi currently provisional pole with just over 2.5 minutes to go.
And championship leader knocked down to 4th place, second row of the grid. It's just over 2 minutes remaining. They're going to get one more flying lap in, maybe 2 for those that have just crossed the line. Here's Simonazzi once again. 41.873, currently the fastest time through sector number 1. How quick can he go? A little bit quicker, 1/10 of a second faster. Well, this is all bubbling up nicely. Purple sectors all over our timing board. Gerard Z getting a purple in sector 3, but only good enough on a lap time to keep him in 3rd position right now.
Brad Benavides, someone who has managed to attain pole position as well this season, and someone who, given his experience, he'd expect to certainly do more. Jakob Bergmeister has just stolen the purple first sector as well. It's been reduced to 3rd fastest because Benavides has gone 2nd fastest, but still 0.3 behind Simonazzi, who is still finding personal improvements. Gerard Z also improving as well. They're improving across the grid right now as Gerard Z posts a 41.7 and takes purple in accordance to our timing screen. It's not showing on our live overlays, but in accordance to what we're seeing right now, I mean, it could be Bergmeister at this stage that's got purple. I think it's actually been taken off him. I definitely think it's in the palm of Gerard Z here at this point, but Simonazzi still also improving at the same time. So this could be a very, very big thrill ride up towards the checkered flag here in qualifying. We've got a minute to go, and Simonazzi has gone purple again, has found an almighty just over 0.8 of a second once again still. So despite the spray still being kicked up, the track is starting to dry up, and these drivers are finding time after time, delta after delta, flying through Blanchimont now. Can Simonazzi dare to display yet another fastest lap? Can he dare to drop that 2:28.821 that he currently has enlisted, increase the gap between he and Benavides in 2nd place? It's certainly looking good, and I must say that's the tidiest run out of bus stop I've seen him do already as he comes up towards the line. Yes, he does, at 2:27.924 for Francesco Simonazzi, but here comes Jakob Bergmeister. Is he going to break his heart? He did improve quite a bit in the middle sector, enough for 2nd fastest, but look at that gap, nearly a whole second between Simonazzi and Jakob Bergmeister.
Absolutely tumbling the tums, exactly as we predicted with the track drying out. Benavides, what can he do on his last lap? There's Gerard Z to 4th place, 2nd row of the grid on his return to Euroformula. Officially the checkered flag has dropped. Last chances then for those chaps out on track. Can they break into the front row of the grid? Benavides, the championship leader, will be looking to do so as Benavides goes purple in sector 2. Here he is, he's picked up time on his 1st and 2nd sectors. We've got purple on our timing screen, it's green on the your screen right now. We will find out what he can do. That's a sensational 2:27.924. Almost a second quicker than anybody else on track for Simonazzi. And there is a bonus point, of course, for those that take the checkered flag. Second place, he will join Simonazzi on the front row for race number 1. Well, sensational qualifying, a couple more still to come over the line.
Yeah, we still have Levente Ravesh and Michael Shin, both of whom are improving on this final run, looking to try and enhance their charge coming through to racing action. You can just see now the yellow flags coming out to beckon the drivers back into the pit lane. Fernando Barrichello joining him as well. He's already taken the checkered flag. But I must say, what a performance from Francesco Simonazzi in the wet. Is he the king of the wet? He might well be at this point. 2:27.924 to be beaten. There is Levente Ravesh, who has once again improved in the middle sector as well. So is looking for a huge third sector. Let's see if he can upset the balance of this order right now. Certainly based on what we're seeing, he could yet do that. Of course, looking to try and break ahead higher than the likes of Gerard Z and Jakob Bergmeister in Ps 4 and 3 respectively. Michael Shin purple in this first sector as well. So it's all starting to come home to roost. Here comes Levente Ravesh, the Hungarian, going third and does indeed topple Bergmeister and Gerard Z. Michael Shin, a personal improvement, still though 1.7 off the top time. And Benavides has just been given the fastest time. But Francesco Simonazzi, has he had a time deleted?
Car 23, yeah, track limits at turn 10.
That's Michael Shin, I think. I'm trying to see where that might have happened. Our leaderboard is checked. No, it's gone back. It's gone back. Don't panic, folks. They fixed it. I thought there was a time deletion. Michael Shin coming through the final sector now, out of bus stop. Let's see what he posts. It was indeed the personal improvement in the middle sector on top of purple. Gerard Z now going fastest, nicking the time away from Simonazzi. That came out of nowhere.
Wow. Where did that come from? He had a fastest sector in sector 2, just put 3 sectors together. By 0.008 of a second, he will be on pole. His return to Euroformula. Championship leader will be on row number 2. Brad Benavides alongside Levente Ravesh, Bergmeister, Shin, and Barrichello and Presney, who have been struggling so far in this championship, will be on row number 4. What an end to qualifying.
Oh, so close. I mean, 0.008 of a second between Gerard Z and Francesco Simonazzi. I mean, they're congratulating him right now. Obviously, it was a great performance. But Gerard Z coming back, returning to the championship. Of course, featured last season for a brief spell and has now returned and managed at the very death of qualifying to post a 2:27, the only 2:27 of the session. With a 2:20, oh, should I say 2:27s were posted, but like I said, 0.008 between them. Simonazzi, despite toppling Brad Benavides and Levente Ravesh, not ideal for Brad Benavides, our championship leader, because now he's on the second row, starting behind Gerard Z and Francesco Simonazzi, and they're going to make it hard for him.
That is going to be incredibly tough. Now, Gerard Z mentioned he was here last year. In fact, Spa was his only round last year. You can see why he came back. He loves it.
He certainly does. Gerard Z, fastest here in qualifying, will start on pole position with Francesco Simonazzi joining him on the front row. Brad Benavides in third, Levente Ravesh in fourth, Jakob Bergmeister in fifth, then Michael Shin in sixth place, Fernando Barrichello in seventh, and Paolo Brajnik posting a P8 time. But there we have it. What a dramatic finale to qualifying. Gerard Z out of nowhere. Even we didn't see it. It wasn't certainly something we could see right towards the very end, but I'm sure he's absolutely thrilled with that performance. Coming back in after going fastest in free practice to Ewan Dunlop. What a confidence booster.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he's very well known for his attributes in single-seater. In 2022, he won the China F4 Championship with 12 wins. So this has not come from nowhere whatsoever. He is a fantastic driver, currently with high-tech teammates as well. But yeah, like you said, came from nowhere. It was all like burst up on there with a screen, 0.008 of a second. The slimmest of margins, and although won't be racing the full championship, is going to play a part in how many points people can get, because he's potentially going to take a few points away from either Simonazzi or Benavides this weekend. Bonus point, of course, goes the way of Z for that fastest lap. I also love the fact that in Euroformula, one of those championships where you get bonus points for points gained too.
Yeah, Brad Benavides, we just saw there going third fastest. Francesco Simonazzi second after the end of qualifying. Very nearly got pole. pole, but it was ripped away from his clutches by this man, Gerard Z. He is on pole position here at Spa, and he's standing by with Alfredo Filipponi.
Gerard here, pole position at Spa at the very last minute. Good fight, huh?
Yeah, it's good to get a lap in on the last lap. Yeah, we made a call to change the new tires, and it's worked out. So yeah, a massive thanks to the team for preparing me in this car and giving me this opportunity to race at this track. And yeah, we'll see what we can do in the race.
How were the conditions? How's the track?
It's not that bad, to be honest. It's still okay to drive for me, and yeah, I like this condition. So yeah, we'll see.
And nice to have you back after 1 year, and nice to see you in pole after, well, last year was a little bit of a bad memory, right?
Yeah, hopefully we don't do that this weekend, and yeah.
All the best, well done for now, and see you this afternoon.
So Gerard Z starts on pole, his first pole of the season. We'll see how he gets on when we go racing this afternoon.